Welcome to the Boston Freedom Trail. This 2.5-mile red brick trail takes you to all 16 historic sites. As the birthplace of American democracy, Boston is the ideal place to discover this heritage. Here you retrace the dreams and challenges of the founding forefathers like Paul Revere and Benjamin Franklin. Join me, Trudy, on my Boston Freedom Trail walking tour during the Independence Day celebrations. We go back in time to all 16 sites and discover this fascinating history. Now let's go.
Have the Freedom Trail right here, showing you start here at the Massachusetts State House, through the Boston Commons, Park Street Church, Granary Burial Ground, up to the King's Chapel, First Public School, Old Corner Bookstore, and then Old South Meeting House, Old State House, and then the Boston Massacre site, Faneuil Hall, and then we go into the north end to Paul Revere's house, and then to the Old North Church, Copp's Hill Burying Ground or Cemetery. Then we cross the Boston Harbor, Charles River, into Charleston, and we go to see U.S. Constitution or Old Ironside, and then we end at the Bunker Hill Monument. Amen. So perched up on Beacon Hill is the Massachusetts State House. It is one of the oldest state capitals in the United States, and it's in a federal architecture, and this is where the red brick line starts for the Freedom Trail. So I'll show you that, and let's get started. The Boston Commons is the first public park in the United States, established in 1634. It's an incredible green space, and a lot of famous things have happened here. For example, the colonial militia men mustered here for the Revolution. George Washington celebrated his birthday here. Over the years, this has been an incredible place for public assembly and expressing your First Amendment rights. So the fourth stop is the Old Granary Burial Ground, and there's some very famous people buried here, and it's so interesting. They will give you a guide at the gate here, and you just, for free, and you give it back when you're done. So I'm going to go through here, and we'll stop at some of the famous burials here. I think if you're American, you will recognize the names. My last one got chopped up, so. Yes. Thank you. Paul Revere, can you imagine? The British are coming, the British are coming. Here we have the grave of Samuel Adams. He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and he was the second cousin of John Adams, our, I believe, second president. This is good review, right?
Next to the grave of Samuel Adams is a gravesite for all the victims of the Boston Massacre.
Alright, so the King's Chapel is one of the best examples of colonial architecture in Boston. They do have guided tours in there for $5. I'm not going to go in, but let's have a look here. Those columns.
This is the corner of Tremont and School Streets along the Freedom Trail.
Stop number 6 is the first public school in America, with the famous student Benjamin Franklin.
Alright, so we have the symbols here of the Democratic and the Republican Party. Alright. And as you know, Democrats are the donkey, or Jack ASS. And that started with Andrew Jackson. I did not know this. But when he ran, he said, "Let the people rule." And his opponent referred to him as a Jack ASS. So, thus we have the donkey. Now, okay, and I love this symbolism here. So right next to that, they have the elephant for the Republicans. So they are opposing each other. Check this out. Here's the donkey. And here's the wee little elephants. Standing. Look at this handsome couple walking by.
You can stop if you want.
No, it's okay. Just keep strolling. I'm standing in front of the old corner bookstore, the next stop, and it is now a Chipotle, but nonetheless it is a historic building here in Boston. Alright, I'm standing in front of the Old South Meeting House. This is where they started the Boston Tea Party. How historic is that? Oh, it's lovely. Behind the old State House is where the Boston Massacre happened, and they've got a cobblestone circle as a memorial for that, when 5 colonists were killed by the British. This is one of the situations that helped catapult the American Revolution. So, there you go. Site of the Boston Massacre, March 5th, 1770. Alright, and the next stop is Faneuil Hall. This is a famous both marketplace and hall that's been used for over 275 years. Today it's still a place for public assembly and free speech, and of course plenty of, when you go inside, plenty of good shops and places to eat. That's a cool building. Alright, following the trail. Aww. Alright, so I'm standing in front of Paul Revere's home in the North End in Boston, and just a review for your history lessons is he is the one who did the Midnight Ride, warning that the British were coming before the Lexington and Concord battles. And I have decided to not go in. You can't do any photography or videos in there, and I've been there, I was there years ago, but it's just $6, and just to let you know, the line's not too bad. Alright, so I'm sitting in the Old North Church, and this is the oldest church in Boston, and you can see these little boxed pews here, and so we're going to be listening to a reading of the Declaration of Independence, but just a little history on this church. It's part of the Freedom Trail in that it is where during Paul Revere's ride they hung 2 lanterns in the steeple, and if you are familiar with the poem of Longfellow, 1 by land, 2 by sea. So it was a warning about the British coming by sea.
have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people.
So I'm at Copp's Burial. This is the second cemetery up on Copp's Hill in the north end. And there are some famous people, I hadn't heard of them, that are buried here. One thing I wanted to point out that I think is really unique about this is they have these certain, on most of the gravestones, they're topped with a winged skull or winged cherub. Anyway, I just wanted to show you. I think it's quite interesting. So you can see these two here. Kind of spooky. Let's see another one there. So this is an interesting vantage point. From here you can see the Bunker Hill Monument.
The Freedom Trail takes you across the Charlestown Bridge over the Charles River. The path offers a scenic route for pedestrians connecting Boston's North End to Charlestown's Bunker Hill and USS Constitution. The USS Constitution, or Old Ironsides, is the world's oldest commissioned naval vessel still afloat. She is best known for her actions during the War of 1812 when she defeated 5 British warships. Tours are available aboard the ship and museum nearby.
All right, we're heading up the Bunker Hill, and I love how charming it is in Charleston. It just has that quaint feeling, that quintessential feeling you would think of as in that New England and kind of feel. Let's check these out. Aren't these cute? No king, no tyranny. In America, the law is king. Thomas Paine. So we end this day at the Bunker Monument on the hill, and I just went all the way to the top, taking 294 steps. And anyway, this was the beginning of the American Revolution, where the British did win. However, they had a lot more casualties than anticipated, so it was an indicator that it was all going to be harder for them than they thought. So, but yeah, this is great. Great viewpoints, you know, up on the hill, and takes you back in time. Alright, so even though we're done with the Freedom Trail, I'm not done with Boston. I'm next going to go to the North End Italian District and have and eat. We're at 8. And then here's dessert across the street. I don't know if I'll have the patience, but maybe worth it.
Alright, 2008.
Let me get 2 of the pistachio. It's almost like, let me get a pecan caramel.